Welcome to the Food Junkies podcast. Here, we aim to bring you the experience, strength, and hope of professionals working on the front lines in the field of food addiction. Our mission is to educate you, the listener, and increase overall awareness about food addiction as a recognized disorder. Here, we discuss all things recovery, exploring the many pathways people take towards abstinence in order to achieve a health-forward lifestyle. We hope to inspire you to thrive rather than just survive. So stay positive, make a change for yourself, and share your journey with others. And hopefully the message will spread.
Did you know your ophthalmologist might be the first person to spot sugar damage even before your blood work shows it? Welcome to the Food Junkies podcast. My name is Dr. Vera Tarman, and I'm your host today, speaking with Dr. Radka Toms. Dr. Radka Toms completed her medical training in the Czech Republic and her ophthalmology specialization in the UK. She later added functional medicine and integrative nutritional coaching to her practice. She is the founder of My Sugar Stop and the OKO Health, where she helps people improve metabolic health and gut health, boost energy and calm cravings by using food as medicine. She pioneers in the field of nutritional ophthalmology. Drawing on her own reversal of rosacea and insulin resistance, she developed the DRRN method to address her conditions, and that stands for Define, Replace, Rebalance, and Nourish. Her work has been featured on shows such as Inspired Living with Autoimmunity, Confessions of an Eye Doctor, and Top Doctors. She has also published numerous papers in the gut-eye axis and nutritional ophthalmology. So welcome, Dr. Toms. Welcome to the Food Junkies podcast.
Thank you. Nice to be here talking about eyes and nutrition together.
So tell us, first of all, what was your own story about sugar and your health? What was your aha experience about the dangers of sugar?
Yeah, so my aha goes back to 2012 when I was the hardcore conventional doctor and did not really believe in food as medicine and just thought that food is calories. And if we don't have that calories, it's calories, doesn't matter where they're coming from. And as a junior doctor, I was really working around the clock, eating a lot of chocolate instead of lunch. And then one day, after living this life, really very hectic and really did not take care much of myself, I developed rosacea. And we moved to Australia. And then I was just having a baby. And I was thinking, so I need to find out what I can do with myself because I don't want to take antibiotics. And because that's what I would always prescribe to my rosacea patients who have it in the skin and in the eye.
You can have it in the eye.
As well, yes, in the eye, ocular rosacea. And then I never forget this. I'm sitting on that beach in Australia, in Sydney. And then the article from Robert Lustig pop up and it says sugar causes inflammation. But back in 2012, it was not so common knowledge like these days.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, really, sugar inflammation? I'm thinking, oh my gosh, Nutella, Snickers bars, maybe, and always these cravings appearing. I'm thinking, maybe that's my problem. Maybe that's why I have these issues. And so that's where I start my journey. And it was not easy to cut sugar, but then eventually I did it, obviously. But it was a journey by itself. And then when I start digging, and then it was new science about the gut microbiome, and then completely shifts how I view a body and how everything is so interconnected. Also the eye with the body. And so I just thought must be connection with the gut as well and metabolic health. But back then there was nothing on the PubMed compared to now. There's a lot of science. So I was just waiting and waiting until my time come and I can actually share this knowledge and this expertise with my peers and also with my patients, because as we don't have yet the randomized clinical trials, but I know that it works because it's just a question of time when we will have these studies and more science is coming up. So it's exciting because there is a link between eye and gut and metabolic health.
Let's talk about that link. What are the earliest signs in the eye or skin that could make you suspect insulin resistance or metabolic disease?
It's so interesting because it can be anything depending on what is our genetic blueprint. So, for example, last week I had a girl and she was not really obese, but I could see that she was talking that she has cravings and she likes this croissant, and she had to have also eat some food late at night. And she came with the dry eyes. So first thing, immediately a little bell for me, okay, insulin resistance, because she was a little bit abdominal obesity. This, we call it skinny fat, where even skinny people can be at insulin resistance. And so I did some testing, and it showed that she's not pre-diabetic, but she is on the borderline. And she's now really doing the journey of discovering how it can be better to be have metabolic flexibility, because that will help the eye as well. I see a lot of dry eye patients that they have metabolic disbalance, and that really can improve their symptoms when they become more metabolically healthy, meaning that less sugar cravings, less hunger, less sugar, obviously, and they replace the sugar with other nutrients. So dry eye, definitely one. Of course, the rosacea, because it's inflammation, is a hallmark of it. But the early stages, really, it can be anything. It can be diabetic retinopathy. It's already when someone has diabetes. But I have few times patients that they were not aware that they had diabetes, and I saw it first time in the eye. And Susanna, I said, do you have diabetes? I said, no, I don't. No, but that was then diagnosed. Also, age-related macular degeneration, that's more for elderly people. There is a huge metabolic link there. And we know that we have to really tap into this and really work on the diet. Because if you look at the gut and the cascade of reaction that's happening, or to metabolic health, when it's oxidative stress, the nutrition accounts for both. So nutrition and really looking at what we are consuming every day is super important, not only for the body, how we feel, but also for the eye, because we're so interconnected. And even there's the eye, we thought that it's isolated organ. Is not. Some scientists saying that if there's leaky gut, there's leaky brain, maybe leaky eye. So we don't know yet, but I think it might be very well possible as well.
What's the mechanism for dry eye and metabolic disease? I've never made that connection.
So basically, the inflammation is the hallmark, and that's driving the glands that are in the skin. When we have low production of the fat, the film on the eye and the tears evaporating much faster. And that's so inflammation is the low-grade inflammation, not something that we can just throw antibiotics at it, or we can treat it with steroids, something that doctor will tell you, oh, it's okay, it's a little bit elevated, but we don't need to do anything. We do. We can do.
I know so many people who talk about dry eye, and I've never made that connection.
Thank you. And actually, I always like to talk about this patient, because it was for me such a happy moment, because it's very rewarding if you believe in something and then it works. There was a girl, I think 36-year-old girl, and she, again, a little bit of cravings, a little bit of hanging on the sugar and having hunger all the time, and really having redness in the eye. Sometimes it gets swollen. And then she found me and she came, and I said, I think you have to start with the sugar, because if you have to have cookies every 2 hours, we have to change. Start that. And then she came back. We were on the phone, because when you want to change a lifestyle, you probably know that you need to lead people with a hand, because otherwise it doesn't work. So we were week by week together. And then after 8 weeks, everything, just the eye was completely white. She lost some weight. She felt amazing. And this is just such a proof. I should republish it, because if you Google it on PubMed, there's nothing much. And study, it's worth it to talk about, because if it happened for her, it can happen for many other.
So I know of somebody who had dry eye, and she was diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome. So
Sjogren,
is that different, or is that related to what you're talking about?
That is different. Okay. So the dry eye, either it's the evaporative, so the dry eye, the tears evaporating too quickly because the fat that's not producing from the glands, it's missing. The Sjogren is something that, or Sjogren, some people can say, it's autoimmune condition, and it's the gland, lacrimal gland, doesn't produce enough of tears itself. Okay. So the water, the aqueous form, and that where we are missing. And that actually these days, they found a link to gut dysbiosis and even certain bacteria. So I think soon we will know even which bacteria actually can be behind it, and which bacteria in the gut can have its stamp. And okay, if you have this bacteria and this combination, most likely good prognosis or bad prognosis. Like we will be able to say so much. We're not there yet, but it's exciting time because there is a huge link with the gut microbiome, especially the gut dysbiosis, and that they have bacteria that are producing the metabolites. So we have the gut microbiome in the gut. That's where the most bacteria or microbes lives. It's in the gut. And these microbes producing metabolites, short chain fatty acids, and those then go to the bloodstream and goes everywhere in the body. And either we have good metabolites, they are anti-inflammatory, or we have really bad metabolites and create inflammation and just havoc. And they found in this condition, in this Sjogren, that these people have a lot of these bad bacteria.
You also mentioned macular degeneration, which I thought just happens as you get older. But do you think that if a person had a perfect diet, like a very gut-friendly diet, non-sugar diet, that they could actually prevent macular degeneration or just the progression of it?
So I think if you start early enough, so the genetic predisposition obviously always play a role. So if we have, and that's polygenic, it's not just one gene that would drive it. There's more to it, but I believe that, and we have actually studied that we can slow down and we can prevent it. But if we can, I think it's coming. I'm not aware of any studies yet. I think it's really a question of time when we can see kind of reversal. I hope we will see it. With my only concern, living and helping people doing this lifestyle change, because it's really healing these conditions. It's happening not in doctor's office, it's happening at home. And you know how much you have to have dedication and in the beginning, because it's like creating new lifestyle. It's sometimes monumental task. And sometimes these patients, they are 70 plus, 80 plus. So you can't expect that. And the body also loses the capacity in that age, as we age, loses capacity to really regenerate in the same way like we can do when we are younger. Yeah. That's where the inflammaging play a role. So definitely there is a metabolic health link. We know that diabetic patients have more risk for macular degeneration. And also when there was a study a long time ago that linked that people who are pre-diabetic, they have more high risk of macular degeneration. There are nuances then also what type is it, if it's the one that really lead to blindness or the one that is. So it's so many variables there. But yeah, definitely we can slow down a lot of things when we start living.
Does that also include cataracts and glaucoma? Because those are the big ones that people talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, I work as well with glaucoma patients a lot. So dry eye and glaucoma. And glaucoma is I'm thinking about this a lot. So there is some science that shows that these ages can damage the trabecular meshwork. It's basically where the liquid comes out in the eye, but through the channels. And that's where, if it's normal outflow, there is no pressure. But if it's blocked, and this is where I think the ages, when they sit, these particles, they sit and they stick into things, they can block these outflow. So I think this will play a role. There is not clear link, although now recently, there was actually last year or early this year, there was one article which I was thinking that already, but I didn't do the science. But one colleague from Bascom Palmer in Miami, he proved that patients who have glaucoma, he measured their aging, and we have biological age and chronological age. And he could see that the patients that had glaucoma, they were aging faster than those that they didn't. And so this is something that really is proving the point that the overall biology will play a role in this condition. But I say that in glaucoma particularly, it's so specific to the eye that I would always follow up with ophthalmologists. Some people, they want to try themselves. And I see sometimes on Facebook, what can I eat? And for glaucoma, I would say eat well and do all these things for the body, but check with your eye doctor, because those changes, when they happen, they are irreversible. And it's really important people to know so they don't miss something very important.
For people who don't know, glaucoma is when there's increased pressure in the eye.
So when we age, the eye becomes more rigid, and that's where metabolic health is important, because we become rigid a little bit later than we normally become. And so the outflow will be slower.
Yeah.
And we have ocular hypertension in some patients, which means that high pressure, but they never develop glaucoma. And some people, we have pressure that it's higher and they do develop glaucoma. And it's something that runs in the families. And it's something that I always tell people, go to dentist every year and go to eye doctor to check the pressure every year from 40 plus, because you don't need to have any symptoms, but the pressure buildup can be there and without you noticing for years. And then I have really some tragic stories, unfortunately, when people came to see me and they have huge visual field defect. That's how we diagnose as well. And I know that they might go blind in a few years' time. And it was all because we did not see that and prevent it.
That implies that you can do something about it. So
yes, we can. So we would usually we want to reduce the drops, reduce the pressure with the drops or with the surgery. And also diabetic patients, they have much more high risk to develop glaucoma. So again, the link to metabolic health is there.
Yes.
And so glaucoma is really the one that I would say that people should check for it, because if you have cataract, you will see it, that you don't see.
Yeah.
Macular degeneration stem, you will see it and you don't see. Diabetic retinopathy as well. You will always have symptoms, but glaucoma can be asymptomatic, and that's what the danger is. You also mentioned cataract. So cataract, there is also linked with metabolic health and blood sugar. When we have diabetic patients, they also have much higher risk for developing cataract than normal person that is metabolically healthy. And recently I was in India and there was a lot of patients that actually, they have high diabetic rates and they were very young and they have really like high prevalence of cataract. So that's definitely something that I would take care also. But with cataract, I'm not so concerned because that's easy fix. It's a very successful surgery. We can remove the lens and people can see clearly.
So how young are you seeing people with metabolic disease developing cataracts? I usually expect this happens in a person's 60s.
Oh, yeah, later than that, normally. But normally 70, 80, yeah. But now I see it earlier, like 60s, yeah. And what I told you in India, I was like 50. But I think in India, the other reason why there was the cataract in the younger population is because of the sun exposure. It's very high. It's like they are exposed, they don't wear sunglasses. I'm all for circadian biology, but when it's high UV, we should protect our eyes, which is like from 11 till 3 p.m. or something like that.
What about detached retina? Is that something that is metabolically?
So that's a very good question, actually. So it's such an emergency in ophthalmology. It's very dangerous if you miss that. People usually have a patch or something. There is a symptoms for sure, or it starts with a flashing light, and that must be fixed with surgery, because otherwise it can completely detached and then people can lose the sight. I don't think this is more how the eye is designed. So we see it a lot in high myopic patients because the retina is thin. There are some degenerations. Actually, I show you on the eye. I have an eye to show you.
An eye model. Okay.
If you look here, so that's the channel I was talking about. That liquid doesn't go out, but it goes out of the inside of the eye. And this is where the angle is. I think we will soon know that the balancing the sugar is very important. And so inside that's vitreous, and that's the retina here. So that's the vitreous. That's the lens. We can remove and replace it very easily. It's no problem. And it's one of the most successful surgeries actually in the whole body. I'm never concerned about cataract, but I am concerned about glaucoma and anything retina. And so this is the retina. And if here it can start like a little hole or tear or any degeneration here, it can start like developing from here. And then depends if it's coming from the bottom or from the top. That's how the risk is differentiated. And if it goes to the macula here, the detachment, we call it macula on or macula off.
Yes.
And when it's on, we have to do surgery the same day.
Wow.
This is really emergency in ophthalmology, retinal detachment.
I don't want to spend any time, but I just want to marvel at how you would deal with a retinal detachment when you've got the vitreous in front. Like that is intricate surgery.
Yes, so we remove all the vitreous.
Oh my God.
We are surgeon, we remove the vitreous.
Wow.
And then we fix it. So people then, they don't have floaters after because it's liquid instead of vitreous. Yeah.
Can metabolic disease contribute to this happening?
I'm not sure. I think it's more really related to how the eye is really designed.
Okay,
If you have myopic patients, the eye is longer. And so the retina is thinner. And also, if here are some degenerations already by design,
yes,
then you are higher risk. I believe that everything is linked to everything, but no amount of carrot will change this if it's already detaching, if that makes sense.
You mentioned gut eye health, that there's particular bacteria that will predispose a person towards, I think it was macular degeneration. Have you got more to say about the gut eye health, how bacteria actually influence eye health? I find that amazing.
I know, isn't that amazing? So I find it fascinating as well. So there is a gut eye axis, how we call it, gut eye connection. And basically the metabolites, they play a role and they go to the bloodstream and they influence also the eye tissues because they go in the bloodstream and they go into the bloodstream.
It's like leaky eye, you said.
Yeah, I don't think it's not yet determined.
Okay.
But I think just when we're having conversation, I would not be surprised that we already talking about something in eye is leaking because it's just the retina is burst and it's leaking. And it's because the leaky gut is literally the cells in between each other. The barrier it's broken. And so the particles that should not go to bloodstream, that could be a lot of things that we don't want to have in bloodstream, like even the bacteria itself. And there is one metabolite that I test every time in every patient, and that's lipopolysaccharides. And that's basically endotoxin that is produced with these harmful bacteria when we have too much of it. And it goes through the blood to the gut barrier and then creating inflammation wherever. Like I see a lot of facial rosacea that they have increased lipopolysaccharides. So this is for me marker that, let's work on the gut. Some people, they have inflammation, but they don't have, this marker high. So I'm thinking, maybe it's just we fix the eating pattern and metabolic health and things will improve. But if I see that there is this high lipopolysaccharide as metabolite, for me, screening, I sometimes send them even to gastroenterologists so they can do more in deep work. And it's also, we were talking about actually on Friday in one conference, dry eye conference, there was one family doctor and he was saying, now I understand how my dry eye patients were also IBS patients and IBD patients. Yeah. A lot of these they together. So because of this potential link and how we connected. And macular degeneration as well has this link and glaucoma as well. So I think it's fascinating. And the Sjogren, as I told you, there are different bacteria that play a role. So it's just question of time when we'll have kind of more specific bacteria that can be studied. And because at this point, the tests are really expensive to run. So I can't really test gut microbiome in every patient. I would love that, but I can't do that. But this lipopolysaccharide is not that investment. So I do that.
Ultimately, could it be possible, even though I also advocate diet first, but if a person has an acute eye disease, that there might be an antibiotic that could treat it?
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah, that's why actually, for example, the dry eye, we give antibiotics to some patient.
Yes.
From before, we're having this link awareness, but now more and more we can be more precise and see what bacteria we should remove and what to keep. Because we don't want to kill everything. We just want to remove the ones that are not so good.
Hey, Food Junkies listeners. We're just going to take a quick break here to share with you something our team thinks could help benefit your recovery with food, body, or self. Thank you again for listening.
Hey there, Food Junkies listeners. It's Molly from Sweet Sobriety, and I want to tell you about something that doesn't come around very often. We're opening enrollment for a live cohort-based run of the Foundations program, and we start Tuesday, June 16th. If you've been listening to this podcast and thinking, I think I have a problem with ultra-processed food, but I don't know where to start, this is where you start. Foundations is a 12-week program that walks you through everything: understanding withdrawal, managing cravings, recognizing cross-addiction, building distress tolerance, and learning to actually feel your feelings without reaching for food. 81 tools and skills all in one place, built specifically to treat food addiction. Real clinical tools, real community, real recovery. We meet live every week, 90 minutes, Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, 5 p.m. UK time. Miss a session? We have replay. You can join any week. There's no extra charge, no catching up required. The whole program is $400. One of our members said it perfectly. I thought I already knew everything about why I should quit sugar. Sweet Sobriety taught me how to actually do it. That's foundations, the how. If this is your summer, if you're ready to stop white knuckling it alone, come join us. The link to register is in the show notes. We start June 16th, and we would love to have you with us.
Now back to the show. If you have enjoyed this episode, please let us know. We love to hear from you. Kindly leave us a review on whatever platform you listen to our podcast on. We love getting feedback from our listeners.
Let's talk about your platform. You mentioned that you're an ophthalmologist, and I would imagine that you do surgery and all that, but you also are doing a diet or a lifestyle plan alongside that. Like you mentioned that you sometimes see people weekly, which is unheard of with ophthalmology. I'm lucky if I get to see mine once a year. Tell us about your platform and how you manage to do that.
Because I know that's only thing that works, because I did it myself. And I know that if I just tell people what to do and then let them go, they come back in 3 months. Oh yeah, I did that, but life happens. So if they're really committed, then we have to have conversation on a weekly basis, quick check-ins, but it's important. So how it started, luckily I was living in the US and I had the privilege to spend time educating myself in functional medicine and nutrition. And while we were living in the US, because I thought we come back, so I will not study all this for the license as such. And then I realized that I had a little bit of paradigm shift as a doctor, because we trained to fix people. You have diagnose, you have problems, so we diagnose, we treat, and then you have results. But with these lifestyle changes or encourage people and inspire people, I had to change completely the way how I talk to them. And I had to find to really be positive about this, so they follow what I have to say. Because otherwise, I know that sometimes I know they need help, but they will never do any steps. It's different what people need and what people want. It always helps when people found me themselves, so they want to do the change. And as it's work that requires some it's a devotional practice really. But I found from my experience that within the year, when we go through various phases, and we talk first about the sugar, and then about that's the DRRN comes in, and usually
Can you explain that?
Yes. So the DRRN is when you start, you have to see where you are first. And I see a lot of patients when they were especially with the rosacea, when the face is red and they hate themselves and they want quick fix. And so that's the conversation when we have to have. It doesn't work like that. You have to give your body a bit of grace and imagine that your face and your eyes like your baby. You would also not be angry, like, why are you sick? So be compassionate and really, so that's where the define comes, like why you need why you want to be healthy, and really ask a deep question like why, because they tell because I want, I don't know, go for a holiday in June, but it's more to it, or really go deep. So they bring the awareness about their health, because that will help them be more successful later on when they're doing the other work. It can be challenging. And so that's defined to really find kind of peace with what is. For example, if I say about the dry eye, sometimes they have such a painful symptoms and they have to still be in peace. Otherwise, you're running the inflammatory pathways through the high cortisol, so the stress. And it's like you never heal if you are. Why it's not happening for me? So that's where define. We really spend a lot of time there. And then the replace is where we talk about the sugar, where we talk about maybe a handful nuts will be better than a cookie, and just be very practical and not really. So I always do elimination diet with people, but I really don't like the name. It's very unfortunate because some people, I did not have it often, but a few times they develop anxiety about food. So I never want to have this. So replace is better. So they don't feel that they missing something out. And the rebalance is when we talk about the gut microbiome and the polyphenols and the rainbow diet. And the nourish is basically when we put all together and when we add also the circadian biology, the light is medicine, and everything really that makes sense for us as human beings to have really healthy body. Because I love this saying that when you look at acorn in isolation, you just see acorn, right? And you don't see the transformative capacity it has to become oak tree. And when people realize that actually they have this capacity as well to really grow a new body, and really it will take time, but they can have really upgraded body within months. This is so much worth doing the work because they will just feel amazing. Yeah. They will have more energy, and even the eye problems will go away. Not always. And sometimes we need more time and more treatment strategies and going back and forth. It's not straightforward. It's, as I said, like peeling the onion. And we might need to go to rabbit holes, like there is maybe food sensitivity or mold exposures, like so many other things. But it's just exciting that for people, they want to look a more holistic way, how they can improve their health, eye health.
What is the My Sugar Stop program that you have?
So I have few. This one particular, this is just that I like people to take in January after New Year as a reminder, like they can start strong. And I run also other programs, especially for the rosacea and dry eye. And that's a 1-year program. And that's when we go week by week. And that's within the My Sugar Stop. But that's where really when people are committed to change and they want to learn how to do it, this is for those. Because the eye health is much more complicated than just using the drops or taking some pills. They understand that it's complex and it's within the body. That's really where things can shift.
And you mentioned one of the things that you talk about is the circadian rhythm. Explain the circadian rhythm and sunlight and when is too much.
So every cell in the body, even the gut microbes, they have circadian rhythm. So it's really important that they know if it's day or night so they can work for us. And how the body knows that it's day is because the information of the light, not through the window, you have to peek outside. The information comes to the eye, touch the retina, and then it transforms to other energy, comes to the brain, then information to the body. That is a day. So, your juices start working as the salivary gland, your liver start producing enzymes, like everything starts working. And we saw it in COVID when people did not go outside, they were all out of sync. And why is important? Because when the body receives information that it's day, then we produce also different hormones, and especially the cortisol we have high in the morning and then goes down. And it's very important because then if it should be low in the evening, so it will help us go to sleep because then melatonin will increase. They go against each other. Yeah. And therefore it's very important to peek outside in the morning to have information that is like the body knows that it's a day, they started, and also get the information in the evening when it's different spectrum, it's more red, and the body knows, yes, it's close to evening, so it's time to preparing body for sleep.
So when should people be out? Like between 10 and 2 o'clock? Is that the maximum?
So when I will use sunglasses is between 11 and 3.
Oh, okay.
In summer days, yes, I would use that because then it's also other condition than just cataracts. Also pterygium. It's in Australia. I've seen it a lot. There's basically conjunctiva that's really red. It's sore. A lot of things can happen. Pigmentation, but cataract is one main one. But also these things makes our phones or. When we are staring at screen at the evening, we are confusing the body because now it's like different spectrum of the light. Like how come it's blue light coming now? So it's confusing the body, and that's why some people have insomnia, especially the teenagers. I have two children, and they're not allowed to watch until 7 p.m. That's it. No screen.
Unless they make it warm instead of blue.
Yeah, but still, I think those individuals, like children in general, they're very sensitive to these things. And we still don't know what effect it really does have. We don't know. Okay. We will see next generation.
I used to think that if I get out between 10 and 2 or 3, I'm getting the circadian rhythm of the sun. But you're telling me to put sunglasses on, but I actually want the sun. So what's happening there?
For you to be really following the circadian rhythm, I would go straight after waking up within 10 to 20 minutes.
Oh my God.
Yes, just to pick up 10 minutes, for 10 minutes to go outside. So that's why dog walkers, they had advantage because they just must go out.
Oh, wow.
That's important, very important, because this is where you really send the information to your brain, and the brain then send information to the rest of the body. That is like a day.
Just 10 minutes.
They saying, I don't know exactly. Actually, I go for the talk exactly about this to the world best scientist next week and on Thursday. So I'll know every detail about this. But for now, we know that, yes, it is minimum of 10 minutes. If you peek outside, this should be enough to think a little bit things. But what I want to say also that we have cells in the retina, we have cells that can, the eye is this is optic nerve that goes inside the brain, like that. And so we have cells that are monitoring light coming from the top. And then we have cells here that monitoring the light coming from the bottom. And so the brain is so smart. We know if the light is coming from the top, it's sun, right? Mm-hmm. It's coming from the top. So that means that it's a day. But if I have at home at 9:00 at night, a light is coming from the top, I will still confuse the brain because the brain will think that the sun is still shining. So if you come to my house, I have no lights after 6 p.m. or even now when the sun goes behind the hill, I have no light coming from the ceiling. We have a lot of lights, but nothing is on. Everybody knows, we're all switching it off because it's really important that we give the body correct information. Otherwise, we're going against our principles.
How do you read a book before you go to bed?
Oh, no, you can read a book because it's little light, but it's not so confusing if it's really coming from the ceiling. Yeah. Okay. No, reading a book is very important. We should all do that.
I thought the light should be dimmer, as least blue as possible. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I bought recently on one conference the light that is actually orange. It's so nice. It's lovely. You can buy a light bulb that is actually not blue at all. It's just red. Uh-huh. And the same to do in the evening. So the brain can get this information that evening is coming and we should get ready for night. Yeah, because it's a lot of sleep. People have a lot of issues with sleep patterns and sleep disorders. So it's all play a role.
What's your opinion about the light therapy?
You mean red light, infrared, and all these things?
Yeah, you look at a particular time in the day, especially for people who are living up north and there's no light, there's no sunlight for 6
months. That works. That works. They have to do it. Otherwise, they will have a deep depression. Definitely. And as I said, there is so much science and light is medicine. And we have to embrace it more and really be more outdoor and really bathe in light. Even if we use sunglasses lunchtime, it doesn't matter. But, it's so important also for children and for everyone.
What's your opinion now, getting back to your platform, about intermittent fasting or particular diet plans like low carb or keto? Do you have any preferences?
Yes, so I have preference. It depends on the patient. So that will be really, so my preference, how it all started was low carb, because I felt that I have a lot of patients, just by coincidence, a lot of patients that I helped. I had issues with fat, eating too much fat, and they have gallstones and gallbladder removed and things like that. So you have to be very careful there. So for sure, ketogenic diet for some patients, it's absolutely critical. It's therapeutic. In oncology, for sure, people now in also ketogenic diet is used in psychiatry. For sure, I will use ketogenic diet for my glaucoma patients. But I feel that instead of following a special diet, I feel that people should really focus on the nutrients as whole, instead of following some strict guidelines, because I feel that I always want to make sure that they fall in love with their new routine. And it's really can be overwhelming. Oh, I can't have this. Oh, I can have this. No processed food, definitely. No ultra processed food, no processed food. Eat one ingredient food, which is anything that grows in the field or on the tree. Sometimes some people must have meat. I'm okay with it. I prefer a plant rich, but if someone has to have meat, it's fine. But I think for that is really most important that it's one ingredient food and that has, I always tell them to have PFF, protein, fat, and fiber, and fermented food. Protein is obvious. People usually know what to eat. Fat is sometimes they confuse that, but focus on really the omega-3 fatty acids, which we know we are so out of balance. We have so much 6 and so little 3. And good fats, olive oil and avocado, nuts and seeds, things like that. And then the fiber is the king. So fiber is the one that people never eat enough. And that's the food for the gut microbiome. And it is when you eat PFF, the protein, fat, and fiber, you actually helping also balancing the sugar.
Yeah.
So it goes hand in hand with helping the gut microbiome producing better metabolites, as well as improving the sugar spikes to make it more not like this high mountains, but more like valley. And so this is the framework, the PFF. And so now they're joking, oh, I have PFF smoothie, I have PFF breakfast. It's easy. I need for people to have easy life because you know how it works. We have so much to do. And I know with myself as well, I'm so busy. And if I don't plan it Sunday, what we cook for the week, we don't eat well. And it's just, I'm just realistic. I say, yes, you have to invest some time, but let's make it that is actually realistic and achievable. So that's important to really eat food that are nourishing. It can be keto or vegan. Like it doesn't matter as long as it's really nourishment for the gut microbiome and metabolic health.
What about sweeteners for the eye?
So there is a lot of studies that show that the sweetener, especially aspartame, and this is not so good. So if someone that drinks a Pepsi diet will not be better off. So it's better to soda drinks that's no go.
But in terms of ophthalmology, does it have any impact or does it diminish the impact?
Good question. So I think it will go through the link, the gut eye axis anyway. I don't think there is direct link. If you use artificial sweeteners that will directly impact the eye, it will go through the gastrointestinal system. But we know that it's so harmful. Yes. That creates dysbiosis. So I don't support any sweeteners. Yes, honey, but after when they're more metabolically flexible, not in the beginning, because it's still, if we eat honey in the beginning, or when we still want to not eat sugar, the stomach still will receive it as sugar. So we will crave more.
In our community, we don't have honey because it's too potent. It's too potent of a sweetener.
Yes, exactly.
If I think about nutritional psychiatry, then I hear people saying we start with the diet or the appropriate food plan, and then maybe we don't need to do medications and whatnot. So could I say the same thing about nutritional ophthalmology? We start with the food, and then maybe some of these conditions won't develop to the point of needing other interventions?
So I would love that so far I can say that. I can't say that at this point, but this is where I want to march. Because I don't want people be on antibiotics for 1 year long. I don't want that people have drops every day forever. And this is where the nutrition really play a role, especially with the dry eye, where we can improve the biology of the body itself. Then eventually, this lady that I was talking earlier, she is using less drops. She stopped using steroids. She stopped using antibiotics. Wow. And she's using the artificial tears now for time being. But I know that eventually she will use it less and less. And the thing is, people always ask me, so when it will happen, when I heal, or they ask me how long it took when I heal. I said, I don't know. I can't put the day in the calendar. Just the frequency longer. And then also the severity of the flare-ups were lower. And so it's just lowering gradually. You realize, actually, I have no symptoms. I don't have, and that's how it goes. Slowly and gradually.
You're talking about an actual regression of symptoms, not just not getting worse, but maybe actually getting better.
Oh, yeah. That's why we're doing it. Definitely. Yes. Especially, as I said, my most experiences are with the dry eye patients. And mostly women. I have some men, but majority of women. So that my experiences are the biggest with this nutritional ophthalmology and with the rosacea, ocular rosacea as well. I have some patient with vascular changes as well, which is cardiometabolic health, which play a role if you have a stroke in the eye, which you can have. That's as a message that have to work for cardiometabolic health. And that's, again, we can do that too. So yeah, it's exciting. Definitely, we want to do that so we have less symptoms, less medication, and better quality of life.
Okay. So what is the opinion of conventional ophthalmology towards this? I'm imagining what you're talking about is still cutting edge.
Yes, but actually it's much better. 4 years ago or 6 years ago, when I talk about it first time, and longer than that actually, I was like, oh, but now it's people are excited. They telling me I want to know more.
Wow.
So now I just have to, my mission is now to put it into some science and publish it. So we know that it's actually, people know what I'm doing. I did not do that yet, and I need to do that. That's my next kind of challenge for myself, because unless we publish it, nobody will ever know that someone somewhere has this successful treatments and methodology. So yeah.
So you would teach this to ophthalmologists in general to promote this idea of nutritional ophthalmology?
I don't do that enough, but definitely in my area, I do that. Sometimes in a podcast, that's where I meet my peers. The thing is that the ophthalmologist itself, they are so busy. It's like, that's why I think because I was sick myself, it differentiates me so hugely, because now I see patients in different way.
Yes.
Would never be the same person if I did not have rosacea myself. If I would just be like, I don't know how to explain it, I'll just be a doctor. But now I'm not a doctor. I'm like someone who actually is listening.
Yes. I think that another group of people who really need to listen are the family doctors, the people who don't know that much about eye health, but they can direct the patient to better eating. I think that would be a huge benefit, not just to ophthalmologists, of course, them too.
Thank you for that. I do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Get on their podcast because it's very important. Okay, so you are an ophthalmologist by training, but now you're also doing metabolic health counseling and whatnot. So you're combining both together. Is that right?
Yes. So what I do is I do basically my ophthalmology. It's in person, it's in hospital, and it privately.
Yes.
Privately, I can spend more time with people and I can do these tests, as I mentioned, the gut microbiome test, omega-3 test, which I can't do in hospital. But the coaching is basically health coaching. So we can do it in group, which is very powerful, that I do that every week. And people who can't join the group for some reason, then we have one-to-one. But I combine these two worlds because if I really want them to improve their vision, I have to help them to improve overall health. And that's why I combined health coaching with the medicine itself. And that really works. Sometimes people have changes that I never met in person. They just joined, for example, the dry eye, the rosacea, they just joined the program from far away and they work through it. And I tell them what to test, somewhere where they live with a local doctor. And I can, of course, advise them. So I say, you have to talk with the doctor. And then just by doing the thing, they improve anyway, even without me seeing them. So it's incredible. Sometimes what really people need to see ophthalmologists is that dry eye, also as ocular rosacea, they can have Demodex mites among the eyelashes.
God,
and that needs to be removed with a cream. And so you have to see if you have such a thing, then you need specialists. Otherwise, it's so many things people can do just by improving their choices every day.
Wow.
It's very powerful. I'm so excited.
How can people find you? And it sounds like you have various programs, like one-on-one in the hospital and groups. So tell us a little bit about your sort of structural platform and how they find you.
If people watching from the States, from the US, so I think the best is when they go to my Sugar Stop and either send me email, or I have a lot of programs for free, so they can join there and learn. And for people that are in Europe or especially in the UK, where I'm now based, they can come and see me in Matrix Eye Clinic or in the UHealth. Just as well, everything is on my Sugar Stop. That's basically why I found it in the US when I used to live in New Jersey back in 2019. And I'm still doing it from there. So yeah, that's the best, I think. Thank you.
The next question is usually what's next for you, but I think you told us it's research. We need more publications.
I do. And engage the family doctors. Thank you for the tip.
Our final question is our signature question, which is, if you could tell a younger version of yourself something about sugar, skin, and eyesight, what would it be? This is a great question. I think I would say to be more in peace with what is and take it all, because it's all is messages. It's all is happening for you, not to you. And those are because where the pain is, we have to go there to grow and to learn what life is about, really. Okay. Thank you very much for a very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us this week on Food Junkies Recovery from Food Addiction. Make sure to join our Facebook group, Sugar Free for Life Support Group, I'm Sweet Enough. Molly and Clarissa are food addiction professionals who offer one-to-one counseling and group coaching through Sweet Sobriety. Please subscribe to our show so you never miss an episode. While you're at it, if you found value in today's episode, we'd appreciate you leaving us a review on your favorite platform. Your feedback helps grow our show and allows us to reach others who need to hear this message of recovery. Don't forget to pick up a copy of Dr. Tarman's book, Food Junkies. And as Vera always says, the power is ours.